Hi there, everybody. It's Lisa, Salty Sunshine Podcast, mini reality recap, and more, possibly more. Um, I feel like I've done it for the last 2 weeks. This is probably my third. I was going to do it every few weeks, but there's so much to talk about, and I don't want to have long episodes, so I figure I'd just knock it out quickly. It's a scorcher today in Miami on a Sunday. It's 105 degrees outside. We did the beach, we did the park, the dog park. So I'm just relaxing here, and I thought I'd talk a little, get salty with a little reality. Um, so much is going on. It's wild. So Andy Cohen was rumored to be leaving Watch What Happens Live, but he came out recently, said that's false, which I'm not surprised because there's so many false rumors out there. I never really believe things right away because my gosh, the clickbait and the lies, people make up stories. And so it doesn't look like he's leaving, but everyone's like saying, "I'll take over. Who do you think should take over?" And everyone's like giving their opinions. Of course, Heather McDonald was joking, saying why haven't they called her for the job? Real Housewives of Miami. So Alexia Napola, her husband, files for divorce, and she apparently is shocked. She had no idea this was happening, or maybe she did and she didn't realize he was going to actually do it. I don't know, but he files for divorce, and so she has a podcast with Marisol. It's called Ay por favor. It's so funny. Marisol did a solo podcast saying that Alexia wasn't, in the right mind frame because the news just came out and she found out like everyone else, and she's not doing great, but she appreciates all the love. She released a statement saying she was saddened by his decision, and apparently TMZ or someone found the divorce filings online. These people are insane. I wonder how. I would love to be a fly on the wall in these TMZ rooms or whoever, spends 24 hours a day like searching public records for stuff. It's so crazy. I would hate to be famous. But yeah, so Alexia, I'm not surprised. He didn't look very happy or comfortable on TV. He didn't look very, happy to be in the drama. You could see that he wasn't in a lot of the season, that last season that we had. I think he does have like a tough personality, so I'm sure he watched it back from the season before, and he's probably like, yeah, I don't look good. Like, that's not my thing. And then whatever other issues they were having, I did hear a rumor that it had a lot to do with her sons, which of course I'm not surprised because her and him don't see things the same. They don't have the same, you know, vantage point of parenting or money or a lot of things. So that's a perfect recipe to like, they've only been married like 2 years, I think. So that sucks for her. We're sending her love. I feel like when you've been married that many times, I don't get how people get married so many times. Um, that's just me, but hopefully she gets to the other side. We wish her well. And then Real Housewives of Orange County. I don't know if you guys remember Jennifer and Ryan. She was a new girl last season that Tamara brought on. And Tamara was quote unquote friends with her. And she went to Tamara's gym that has now since closed. Jennifer's so sweet. She has a yoga studio. And Tamara was such a horrible human being to her. I don't know if she can ever look in their face again. I wouldn't, with the way she treated her. She was so nasty with her and her boyfriend Ryan, and so they announced they're engaged. So that's interesting. I'm happy for her. They did really seem in love. He did seem like, you know, a fuck boy, but a fuck boy in retirement type of thing. Like I think he really did fall for her and he changed for her. We'll see what happens on the next season, which should probably be filming already. So we're happy for them. Oh my God, this drama with TikToker Kyle Marissa Roth, rest in peace. She passed away recently. I knew who she was because I would I would come by her profile, but I never followed her and I never actually listened to her because I personally found it annoying. You want more? I'll give you more. So I knew who she was for sure. So when I saw the news, I did know who they were talking about. But everyone's blaming J Lo for her passing, which is so absurd. It makes me really worried about society, how people, and they're not kidding. Like they're serious, they're full blown. Go to JLo's Instagram page and just look at the comments. Every single one is about this girl, RIP, you're a monster, you have blood on your hands. It's just so basically this TikToker Kyle did it like a 73-part series on talking shit on Lo and using her content, Lo's content, like her movie, her documentary, clips with that series. So it's copyright material. So Lo stopped that from happening because she's not allowed to do that. So because she stopped that, the girl apparently had to close. They stopped one account, so she had to open another TikTok account. So apparently she wasn't making as much money as she was before this all happened, and she had colon cancer, but no one has said how she died. It's not confirmed that she died of colon cancer. It could have been something else. Apparently she had, various health issues. But they're blaming Lo because it's like if they close down TikTok right now because of the Supreme Court decision or the Senate or whatever, they're going to blame them for everyone's death too that doesn't have money to do their treatments. That's ridiculous. You don't die because of that. There's credit cards, there's loans, you can get into debt. But she didn't die because Lo stopped her account, which it's absurd. So that's really, to me, that's a sad state of society to reach that far and be that ignorant. But anyways, a lot of people feel that way, which is alarming. Summerhouse. Wow. What an episode. Okay, so we got, first of all, they should rename Summerhouse Halloween Summer because all they do is theme parties. Theme party after theme party. What a mess. What work goes into, putting all that together and getting an outfit. I would die. Halloween once a year is enough. So they have this alien theme, whatever, Halloween party. And then they go out at night to like a club. Danielle's telling Paige in front of Kyle at the club that Paige gives Craig nothing and that he wants so bad for her to, and then Paige is like, well, that's not me. I'm not going to hold his hand. I'm not going to coddle him. And she's like, but he so desperately wants that. Danielle, what do you know what Craig wants? Like, Danielle's really annoying. I said it last season actually, I was very surprised that anybody was on Danielle's side. She was so ridiculous with Lindsay and Carl's relationship. It's like, butt out. It's none of your business. Just because she's your friend, she doesn't owe you, explanations on her relationship. It was so odd. It was so single white female. I hated it. And I'm glad everyone's seeing this now, what she's doing with Paige, because it's inappropriate. It's none of your business. And it's actually rude. Like, what are you doing? Why are you talking to her about her boyfriend that you don't even hang out with? So I think Paige took it really well because she's like, whatever, that's not me. Okay, fine. Like, she didn't really react. But then in the confessional, she's like, can Lindsay take Danielle back? We don't want her over here anymore. She's like, please, I feel for Lindsay now looking at this, like, and then reflecting on last season. So I think that's interesting. I can't wait to see Danielle's reaction when she sees that back. And then Amanda shows her nipple in the club through the window to Kyle, and Kyle gets so excited. He's like, that's it. We're getting up. Let's party. It's like these people are it's just so funny. He's in his 40s. I'm in my 40s. I don't understand that the excitement wears off to party in that manner. So maybe I should be jealous of his enthusiasm for partying. Then when they get home, he strips naked and he gets in bed with Amanda and he's trying to cuddle her. She's like, "Ew, get out of my face." Um, the will that these people have to strip naked and like do the dirty or do anything, knowing that all the cameras are videotaping them, is like, I don't get it. I would not do a thing, actually. Um, so Lindsay's like talking about Carl and how his issue, like he hired a work coach or like an employment coach or working, whatever it is, a coach, like to see what he wants to do to further his career, to start another career, to see what's best for him. $20,000 they spent on this business coach or whatever he was. And she's telling them like, it's such a turnoff. That's not what turns me on. And I feel like somebody needs to pull her to the side. You can't talk like that. What you need to say is, I'm really worried about like the status of this because it's turning into a long period of time, and like we both have to work no matter what it is. You got to start somewhere, but you don't tell a guy like that doesn't turn me on. That doesn't turn me on. I feel like that's very condescending or even manipulative, because you shouldn't equate like what turns you on with the issues that you're having, like finding a job. It's so weird. Um, it's a good thing they didn't get married. They're totally a mismatch, and she's too old to not know like that's not how you communicate in a healthy way with a partner. So she definitely needs to go and talk to someone and know like better boundaries and a better set of communication skills, because that's a non-starter. Like, come on, you don't talk like that to someone you supposedly are in love with. All right, so Vanderpump Rules. Schwartz has a new girlfriend. I saw her and heard them on the Vile Files. Tom Schwartz and his girlfriend Sophia were in Coachella on the Vile Files. And Tom is 41 and she's 23. They have an 18-year age gap. And he said he didn't go looking for her. I hate when men do this. It's like, oh, it just happened, fell in my lap. No. You saw someone that's like literally a minor. And you like to act like a child, and so she's gonna put up with your shit, and she looks like a baby. Like, just call it what it is. This is not some beautiful love connection that you saw, and she just happened to be 18 years your minor. Okay, I can't. It's like, I hate when guys do that. Like, just call it what it is. Like, when a girl's like 25 and she's dating a 57-year-old and he happens to be rich, and she's like, well, it would just love struck. It's like, no. If he was a school teacher, you wouldn't be dating him. Let's keep it real. Anyways, so he's dating her. And yeah, it was interesting listening to them talk on there. And they're like, are you official yet? It's like, they've been dating for months and months. It's so silly. It's like, what do you mean? Of course they're official. Like, if you're not official, how odd. Anyways, on the episode, they were listening to Raquel slash Rachel's new podcast. I think they were talking about the one she was on with Bethany, because that was like a while ago when they were filming. And Tom's just losing his mind. He's super depressed. He's like, I can't believe like she's saying these things about me. I thought we'd work it out. She won't return my calls. And then Ariana's confused because she's acting like we never hung out. We hung out all the time, and there's video proof on top of it all, and we have text messages and photos all over the Instagram. Like, we definitely hung out all the time. And so, you know. And then Sheena talks about her new song, which disses Tom. She's so, again, I don't know if it has something to do with reality TV or they just get stuck in this. She's so stuck in like she's 22 years old with her hair half up, half down with the bang. It's like the style, everything. It's so juvenile. So she writes this song and she has this new song and she comes up to Tom at the restaurant and she's like, oh, just don't get mad. I just mentioned, it's not a dig on Raquel, but it's like, I just said you went from a Jetta or you went from a Lambo to a Jetta. It was so funny because Schwartz was like, yeah, it's not obvious, although Raquel literally drove a Jetta. So it was literally about them. So he got really upset and he stormed out. So stupid. And then, all right, Lala's insemination party, where she tried to make it like a baby shower, but it was about picking her baby's, like the donor, which was interesting. That's a first. She had pinned the sperm on the vagina, on the uterus or whatever. I thought that was really fun. That would actually be fun for like a real baby shower, because baby showers could be super boring. So that's an interesting like switch it up type of game. Pin the sperm in the vagina. Um, yeah, and like maybe like some clues of like pick the right like attributes or characteristics or something of the actual baby daddy, and like it would be fun like to switch up the games, because God knows baby showers games are boring. So she did that, and they picked the baby daddy, which I thought that was interesting slash weird. And then James talking to Allie about her stance on marriage and children. He's like crying over here because he started over with her. He's in love with her, and now with her trepidation on it, he's like, damn, if I have to break up and like start all over and find someone new, this sucks for me because, you know, I'm at a certain age, I want a family, and I'm in love with her. So I felt that that was cool. James is really like maturing and growing up. And I actually just saw Bravo Babe or something on TikTok. They reposted this video of James and Allie singing and rapping at the LA Book Festival on stage, and it looked like a talent contest. I actually really, really liked it. The song was really good. It was better than the song that she debuted a few weeks ago, which is her first single was like Girls Night or something, or Girls Girls. This one was something about I Believe in You. It was actually really good. And then they had a third guy come out and he was rapping. And I actually really, really liked it. And her voice sounded really good. And I loved it. I actually really love that vibe. I could see that song playing in like a movie. Like it's a really good song. So you should look it up. Um, and then, oh my gosh, Tom Sandoval saying now that Ariana's like gonna agree for him to buy her out, and he's like asking Schwartz if he'd consider moving in with him, and the portion of his rent would be like astronomical. He's like, "What are you talking about? I'm not paying 7 grand to be your roommate." And Sandoval's like, "Well, we could take out a loan." It's like, oh my God, the fact that Schwartz didn't just say absolutely not, like don't even ask me, like I'm not doing it, like immediately no, that annoyed the shit out of me. I'm like, can you please just say no? This is such an absurd idea. But he's like, oh, just think about it. He's like, okay, I'll think about it. It's like, no, don't think about it. That's a horrible idea. Um, so yeah, I think that's it for Vanderpump. But you know, I think James and Allie, Lala, I've never really cared for because I think the way she acts is like so, I don't even know what the word is. She's very she's not level-headed and she acts like a gangster. It's like, shut up. You're not gonna punch anyone. But stuff like that, I don't really like her. So I think James and Allie, to me, is the most interesting part of the show because they look like they have a real solid relationship. They're both growing and they're doing music together, and I think that's cool. So I like them the most. Okay, The Valley. So Michelle saying in her confessional that Kristen shouldn't have a baby because the world doesn't need more of her was so mean-spirited. So, and not to mention how ironic that her husband is a tool, and maybe her husband shouldn't have had a baby because he's such a dick. It's almost like, first of all, you never say that about a woman. And I'm sorry, but none of these women look like they're Kristen's friends. Like, they're all so mean to her. Like, if you don't like her, then you're not, like, at all, like, you're not her friend. Like, you all are assholes to her, with the exception of the one that we love, like, the one that has a healthy relationship, that has the twins. She's the only one that acts like she's Kristen's friend, and maybe Brittany. The rest of the girls, they're not nice to her, so she should really stop talking to them. So yeah, I didn't like that about her. I think she looked really nasty, and maybe she's just as mean as her husband or ex-husband that she's divorcing. So in recent news, Jax and Brittany unfollowed each other on Instagram, and then Jax was spotted in Canada with the two Toms, their new girlfriends, and Jax's publicist. So Jax has been rumored to be hooking up with his publicist. And now he's like in another country with her. I guess he can write it off as work, but apparently the rumors are flowing that they're hooking up and he's definitely with her. So, and I did see another girl on TikTok say that she went to a viewing party at Jax's, what's his bar called? Whatever his bar is called. And Brittany was supposed to host because they have viewing parties at his bar. And Brittany was supposed to be the host and she never showed up. So that was telling too about where things stand with them. And they'll probably get divorced. They should get divorced. He's a mess and she puts up with so much shit. And he apparently is not even into her because they've only had been together a handful of times in like a year. So I think that's kaputs. Larsa Pippen was spotted with her ex Marcus on Miami Beach, which I did find surprising because I felt like they really, really broke up and whatever. So they were spotted holding hands, being cute. So I don't know if they're just hanging out or talking about getting back together. I think Larsa's a clown. She annoys the shit out of me. Even when she was on the Kardashians, I couldn't believe how Courtney got so close to her when she was dating that other guy, Eunice. It's like, you don't have nothing in common. Like, she's so Miami and you're so, like, nicer looking, classy. It just didn't vibe. So now that they're not talking, it makes more sense to me. Oh my gosh. So I saw Ashanti and Nelly had been dating since 2003. Mind blown. I had no idea they were dating. I love Nelly. I love Ashanti. Throwback. They've been dating forever and they just announced they're engaged and she's pregnant. So that was super exciting and news to me. I'm very happy for them. Okay, and then Seeking Sister Wives. I said it before and I'll continue to say it. The Merrifields are insane. They're the only reason I watch that show. It's like, I feel so bad for that wife, Danielle. My God, her husband is such a freak of nature. He's such a freak. He's a weirdo. He's a freak. He uses God as a tool to be like the biggest jerk off. She clearly doesn't want this lifestyle. He made her get divorced so he can marry a Brazilian and bring her down for papers. So the Brazilian will have all the legal rights and be married while this poor ex-wife is literally struggling to find her foot there because she doesn't feel like a part of anything. He doesn't respect her or her wishes. So the last episode, he proposed to the second Brazilian because the first Brazilian bowed out in the prior season. This season he went. The first time he ever met her, all they ever did was talk on the phone. And when he met her, he proposed. And the girl seems like a ball buster too. She's like, no shit, but she doesn't really get along with Danielle, and Danielle feels very left out. And she's just so this episode this week, Garrick is gonna go to Brazil for a whole month so he could spend time with the new wife to be. And Danielle's just sitting there saying, it's been a month since we came back from Brazil and he proposed. I've tried to text and get closer to, I forgot her name, the Brazilian. And Garrick and I are not doing well. We're not communicating well. I keep telling him and he just doesn't, whatever. So she just feels like she should just leave him. I can't believe her family doesn't say, like, just cut this out already. Like, he's a nightmare. Um, yeah. And then, so the end of the episode, he leaves to see the other one, and she's just sitting there crying. Like, I don't know where we're going to stand. What if he goes and marries her and never comes back? It's really sad. It's very depressing to watch, but I can't stop watching it. Will not stop watching it. It's a train wreck. And then the other couples, they're so funny. This one couple, these two, I forgot their names. I'm sorry, but they're the black couple. They go out with, they don't have any third wife yet, and they're trying to find their first one. So they go out with this girl that's 26, and she's so immature. It was painful to watch. Like, she's sitting there, like, licking her fingers, eating her hamburger, like, all over the place. And they're like, oh, geez, she's way too young. Like, I can't. I feel like we're with our daughter here. So that didn't work out. But it's really funny how they implement these rules. They're like, oh, when there's no one-on-one. Like, you can't go anywhere with him alone. There's no touching, no kissing. We have to all three, vibe first. And it's so weird. They put all these rules with, like, the process. It's almost like, so the third girl, they call her them sister wives with the woman. And they have to really, like, really bond and, like, whatever before it can go forward. So you're literally, like, dating both people, which is so weird, right? It's a lot of effort. I don't know why anyone would want to put that much effort. I'd rather read a book. But yeah, if you guys haven't watched it, it's a train wreck. I highly suggest it. So that's my reality recap. We'll be back this week with a new episode talking all the salty gossip. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.